Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Nima Akashat Zibiri. How you doing?
Fine.
Good to see you.
I went to see my auntie. She's been sick yesterday, and I had to travel farther down Badagry Expressway.
And then you were shocked.
Mr. Governor, sir.
Badagry, right?
Help. These people are seriously suffering. So I couldn't get a bus from Yanoba. There's no point driving. It's not practical to drive or try to get a hailing taxi. So I don't do that when I'm going out. I just sort of cover up very well, and I go on
ninja
bus.
mode.
Yes, so I did that, and I could not even find a bus to take. I had to take a bike. Everybody there resort to bikes. And I went as far as after Yanosashi to get to her place. And the roads all the way from Vaux, so the good road ends at Vaux, and from there all the way to far after Yanosashi, you won't see a tarred road. The whole place is under construction. So they've not created an avenue. It wasn't like as our side was done. So they finished the service lane, open it up, and then they'll continue with the middle lane. This one, all the roads. So people are stuck in endless traffic helplessly.
How are you doing? How is Nima Akasha Zimira? Traffic.
Tired, but I need to give feedback.
It's good, but
to the governor so that he knows that the contractors there are not practical in their work.
But Nima, you know you have a very good dress sense. I admire, if not for this hijab, you will keep
you know that I like your hair.
I like the way she dresses. She knows how to put things together.
I love your
I have a style, sense style.
Yes, you do.
It has to be decent.
You do. I've noticed. Yeah, you do.
So I like your hair too. You're beautiful.
Yeah, we're gonna come to that.
Natural hair. I mean, this is natural hair.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good.
Very short.
Yes, my husband's short.
So somebody can bully her husband.
He was telling me, say, is it that I cannot bring anything to this house? You wear my shoe, you wear my shirt. I say,
I don't
have siblings, yes. So he brought it, and you know, for a long time, I'm always able to wear my husband's clothes. Then I added with like late last year, earlier this year, and I couldn't wear his clothes anymore. So as I tried this on, and I was able to wear it, I'm like, yes, we are back. Anything you buy, we are wearing it together. So
that means you're coming down.
Yes. The diet is working. Whatever we are doing is working. We are grateful to God. It's weird sometimes to people that they don't know our show. Like they heard of the fire incident, but they're like wondering, oh, okay, so what do people do? It's like it was shocking.
Wow.
Like they don't know our show. You are in this Lagos, you are in Nigeria, you're not watching.
When the abroad people know this show.
But you know, I've shared this story with you before. When I was the company, the international American company I worked for, and I was while I was talking about myself, I sent my CV to the person who was going to engage me. I saw my CV. She now told me to tell me about yourself. And I started with your view, and you know what we do. Like, please, that's not necessary here.
Like your CV.
Let's talk about what you've done.
You're not embarrassed, but your view is part of what you've done.
But he was like, listen, there's some circles in corporate Nigeria that it's not really...
It's not about
I disagree.
Yeah.
It's part of your track record.
Oh, yeah.
It's what you have done.
Certainly,
so, I beg.
It wasn't the highlight.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And maybe you were telling so many stories. But just talk as small.
How you doing? Love your hair. And then if YK was on the show today, should have given you a big hug.
I've been cutting this hair and cutting this hair. And my husband has been patient with me because he naturally, I think most men like long hair. You know, so I promised him that the last cut, I won't touch it again. So I'm trying to live up to that promise. But my body is doing me. Yeah. I've always had grace. Yeah. I've always had grace.
We are grace.
Yes, we are grace. Yeah, but I'm grateful to God. My son is getting better.
Thank God.
He cooked himself. You know, he likes the chef of the house. He decided to make his mac and cheese himself, and I'm happy he's beginning to eat now.
Well, yeah. He said it was the life of the house.
He's like, the life of the where everybody's just missing him. Oh yeah, now get up now, do something, give us ginger.
That happens when my husband is sick because he's the life of the house. Once he enters, you know, Brown is in the house. When he's just sick, my jaw, please touch my face. Is it hot? Like this is your bragado.
It's unusual.
This is your bragado. When he's sick like this, oh my goodness.
He's very humble.
He's humble.
They become babies.
Say, please help me touch. He said, what's my temperature?
I can't believe this. How are you doing?
Okay, that's good. I'm fine. I'm very well. I think we're starting the exams proper
Wow.
I think on the 17th and 24th. Final for my last semester. I'm really excited.
Wow.
I can't wait to hand over. I'm so finished.
And leave me behind.
Hey, I will leave you. I will leave you. By God's grace, we'll be graduating. We'll do the graduation in December. And once I submit my dissertation. This one, but at least I'm done with school work by this semester.
How's your dissertation? Are you?
I'm working on chapter 3. You know, we're working on God will help us.
Amen.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Friday. Celebrity gists. But first, we have to go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, we're going to start with The Nation. Eminent Nigerians military force alone can't end insecurity. Tearful farewell as TB Joshua's lying in state happened in Lagos yesterday. COVID-19 Delta variant in Nigeria. PDP slates Congress for Lagos, Oyo, and Osun. FRS goes for 1.8 trillion naira tax liability for multi-choice coffers. Buhari canvasses reduction of cement prices and left APC since 2019. Buhari's aide Onoche tells senators. Okay, let's start with Onoche. Go ahead.
The special advisor to the president on new media, Loretta Onoche, still defied all of us and went for the screening, and the Senate also screened her alongside other people yesterday, where she vehemently, 3 times, with emphasis, I am not a member of the APC, denied being a member of the APC, saying that she withdrew her membership in 2019 after the re-election of the president for a second term, and that she also, although she had sworn an affidavit to being a member in 2015, but she has dropped that, and she's calling on anybody that is claiming she's a member of the APC should show proof that she is a member of the APC. So now, this is my own issue. You've not only brought question as to your membership and character because of the way you've comported yourself as an appointee of the president in the past, but now you bring a conflict of interest to question now, because now you want to take an office that is supposed to be an unbiased umpire office, the office of an electoral resident electoral officer. It is something that they clash. They just don't blend. If you have any integrity at all, this is the time when you say, I graciously, reject the nomination of me. And, because the whole of Delta States they cannot lack people without questions. Of course. It's not possible. Yeah. And you do yourself a favor, save yourself the embarrassment, as well as your principal or your former principal, whatever way you look at it.
Okay, let's pick another story.
It's not in our nature to withdraw in this part of the country. So the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed detection of SARS COVID-2 Delta variant, also known as lineage B1617. In the country. Honestly,
yes, I was
it's really scary, yes. So they said they talked about it yesterday evening, and they are warning that the transmissibility of the Delta variant is very high. It's been going around in over 90 countries, and it's killing as fast. So the concern now is that we need to go back to observing the COVID-19 protocols. They are working with different laboratories to see how they can check our vaccines and see what we can do to limit the effect. But the warning is on, and the travel restrictions are still on. But my fear is we in Nigeria, we're acting like COVID has gone. I hardly see people wear face masks, so we need to be very careful. We have classmates now in Zambia and other countries that are really dying.
1 person, 8 people family. Yeah. One of our classmates. 1 person in his family. 8 have died. Zambia, Uganda.
Be careful.
I was going to take the FIRS. They moved to recover 1.8 trillion naira for multi-choice Nigeria, according to FIRS. They said that they described the level of tax evasion by multi-choice Nigeria as alarming, adding that they have never paid a kobo to the federal government as value-added tax since it began business in the country. They also accused MCN as a multi-choice of not giving accurate information on the number of its subscribers and income. And this is quite sad because according to the report, this makes up about 34% of the revenue they make in Africa. So, but however, MultiChoice have said that this is unnecessary because they are already in talks with the service to get this resolved. But either way, to have a company like MultiChoice in Nigeria, a South African company, not pay any taxes in Nigeria, that in itself is disheartening, and it's something that must be looked into.
Please don't take the real estate industry. I have to take the story. Cement prices. So there was a meeting that took place of all the cement, the chairman, board of directors of BUA, addressing the 5th annual general meeting of cement companies in Abuja, mentioned the fact that cement prices need to go down. It is too expensive. I agree. And his reason is that it will continue to be expensive as long as we only have 3-4 major players in the industry. We are not producing enough. Comparing Nigeria with 220 million citizens who need accommodation to Egypt that we're producing about 30 million tons. And that's why the price will continue to go up. That he knows he's a businessman, and competitively, there will be more competition if they bring in more investors into the cement industry. But the price of cement is too high, and he's advocating that the Nigerian government makes it more conducive for Nigerians, for foreign investors to bring in investors to Nigeria, because Nigeria has the largest deposit of limestone. Right. So we have the raw materials. We just are not refining it as fast enough.
Moving on quickly now to The Punch. Kaduna Baptist School students' parents panic as bandits threaten starvation, demand 30 bags of rice. Ogun Assembly proposes 3-year imprisonment for open grazing offenders. Cholera ravages Plateau, Ebonyi, 17 dead residents warned. Kwara family members land in hospital as 4 children die of food poisoning. FRS blames speeding as 5 killed in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. APC summons Lai Mohammed. Minister faces anti-party activities allegation. For real? I wish I read that story. UNICEF orders 220 million COVID-19 vaccines for Nigeria and 54 others. Rep probes $3.2 billion Port Harcourt Maiduguri Rail project, grill NRC contractors. Okay, which story are we taking? Let's start with the
major
story.
Oh,
the major headline, yes.
Yes, so the parents and management of the Bethel Baptist High School, Maraba and Rido, Kaduna State, they were abducted recently, are raising money to buy foodstuffs being demanded by the abductors. So the abductors had reached out to the school management saying that it seems like the federal government is trying to block them off their resources. And so these children will starve if the school does not provide food items for them. So they requested for 30 bags of rice, 20 bags of beans, 10 kegs of palm oil. The school managed to gather about 9 bags of rice, and they rejected it, saying that it must be completed. So they had no choice than to go to the parents, and parents volunteered. Instead of our children to die in hunger in the den, let them send food. So they've gathered the food. They are now waiting on the abductors to tell them a place and time where they can go drop off the food. So it seems like everything is helpless. I would like the state government to do something about this. Really
okay, Pastor T.B. Joshua was laid in state yesterday at the synagogue, Church of All Nations. Quite a number of eminent personalities were there to bid him farewell. There were lots and lots of hundreds and hundreds of people there yesterday. Quite sad, but I was so happy that people were able to see somebody who they totally believe in and they respected so much. And we just pray that his soul indeed will rest. So that today he'll be laid to rest today, and today will be the interment. But yesterday was important because he had lots and lots of followers across the world. And yesterday they were happy to be able to bid him farewell and see him before he was interned.
So good news from the UNICEF. UNICEF announced yesterday that they have donated, they've paid for 220 million doses of COVID-19 Johnson & Johnson single-dose variants. So this will be given to all the African Union 55 member states. This is in addition to the one African Union had purchased itself, which is bringing available doses for the African Union member states about 400 million Johnson & Johnson single-dose treatment for COVID.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're moving on now to Daily Sun. Nigeria's democracy at risk, British government warns. Save Nigeria from collapse, Khan urges Buhari again. Declares 7-day prayers. Rumble in Imo Assembly over suspension of 6 lawmakers. Ogun Assembly passes anti-open grazing bill. COVID-19, Delta variant now in Nigeria. We talked about that earlier. Nude video, Ohakim knows fate, September 27th. And airlines OFG agencies 37 billion naira, says Sirika. Okay, which story are we taking? The major headline?
Let me do the major headlines.
Yes.
Yeah, so the British government had a meeting at the Nigeria Governors Forum Peace and Inclusive Security Initiative in Abuja yesterday. It was a collaboration between the British government and the Governors Forum. And the British was raising alarm that the conflict in Nigeria could destabilize democracy, even leading it up to 2023. And they were talking about the fact that there are a lot of things that are happening that they know that are happening. We have the issues of insecurity, the banditry. They made a list of all the problems that we are having. And they're saying that using security officials or security personnel to quell the problem is not all the solution that is expected, that it's expected that we come to the table, we have reconciliation, we have negotiations to be able to solve this problem. And they are in full support with the governors. They're going to be supporting the governors through this initiative to solve some of this problem. And they are expecting the federal government as well to find a way to provide more jobs for the teeming youth.
Right. Who has the Imo State?
I have the Rumble, yeah. So yesterday, Imo State House of Assembly suspended 6 members, and they called the basis for the suspension unparliamentary conduct. But they didn't state exactly what the conduct was that was unparliamentary. Now, the speaker, immediately asked that they be moved out. So they got security personnel to bundle them out of the House of Assembly complex. And that's caused a lot of chaos. People started to protest. Wahala started to happen, and then, of course, they came in.
I heard there were gunshots.
Yes, there were gunshots.
The son did not carry that there were gunshots, but that the security personnel had to come in to quell the whole wahala.
They had to whisk the speaker away.
What happened with the Ohakim?
Yes, so the former governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim, has been taken to court for allegedly threatening the nominal complainant, Mrs. Chinwere Amuchinwa, with releasing her nude picture. So she took the case to court. Now, they've decided to sort of settle out of court, and they wanted to dismiss the case, that they're no longer prosecuted. But the AGF have said that they will take up the case, and even if you decide not to prosecute, they denied the motion allowing the case to be withdrawn. And they are now saying whichever way, whether the person chooses to prosecute or not, we are going to defend the rights that how can a sitting governor allegedly threaten to release a nude photograph of a citizen.
Wow. Moving on now to Vanguard, Nigeria heading for insolvency with new loans, says experts. PIB 3 and 5% equity stake is rape, slap on oil community, says Ijo and Ishakiri youths. Unilag crisis informs setting up of visitation panels in other varsity, says Buhari. TB Joshua to be buried today. I don't belong to any party. Quit politics in 2029, Loretta Anoche tells Senate. CBN rolls out framework for payment service banks. Airlines must refund 100% airfares to passengers after 2-hour delay. We can't use old tools, tactics to defeat Boko Haram, Bani says CDS. All right, let's take the airlines.
About the airline, yes. So the federal government said yesterday that airline operators in the country must refund full cost of travel tickets to passengers after 2 hours of delay. They said this came as a result of the fact that a lot of air travelers have been complaining. And most of these airlines just delay them for no just cause, no warning, no calls, no SMS, and you just sit at the airport for hours on end. And so they have given that for 2 hours delay. If it's 1 hour delay, they should send you a text message or an email to take permission from you that you're going to be delayed. But if it's up to 2 hours, and for that 1 hour, you have to be given refreshments while you're waiting. And for 2 hours, you have to be refunded. And if it's up to 6 hours, they'll provide hotel accommodations for you. They'll provide meals for you. They'll give you the phone calls, the emails, and all of that. This is the way to, exactly. And it's not just the local
Even international
yes, even
flights,
international,
they cancelled as
So
well.
it's basic customer care.
I'm
telling them,
basic
compelling them to do.
But
the one that is annoying is the international airlines that we Nigerians manage their customer care and encourage such abuses. So you lose a person's luggage and you're telling them at the airport, and you be the first.
Exactly.
Until a week, 2 weeks, the person has to sue you.
Still on airlines, so the federal government will be clamping down on Arik and others who are owing $37 billion to the aviation sector. And they're saying that they're going to, and they're also proposing the possibility of regulating the use of drones. That's an interesting idea.
Use of drones for what?
You know,
but the drones fall within things that fly.
Yes.
So I think it's already regulated. Maybe they're going to be more clamping down more on it. Because before you fly a drone in locations, you must get permission. But yes.
Maybe
for the movies,
even movies, even
not more drone.
Yes,
that's not our
you're
issue.
flying.
It's our issue.
It's a security
Drones
threat
are beyond cameras.
They can use it to check. Yes, they can use it to monitor your house and see what's going on there.
Drones can also be used to deliver some items. Drones have been used.
They can deliver bombs.
So please, they must regulate drones.
Yeah.
I don't want drones.
I understand.
Okay, let's move on quickly. We have to wrap up. Let me just take a Nigerian Tribune. Did I take Vanguard at all? Okay, yes, we have. Vanguard, very quickly. Ex-South African President Zuma begins jail term. So it actually happened. Not something we know Africa now, something just want James Bond and he won't go again.
It's not Nigeria.
Nigeria imports 2.2 million tons of fish annually. Gunshots at Imo Assembly, we talked about that earlier. Beam of Lagos building collapses, kills 5-year-old boy. Mago loses out as 167 police officers get promotion. And COVID-19 Delta variant detected in Nigeria. This is Nigerian Tribune. Autumn to invite Buhari to commission projects. Amatawale ascends to legislature, judiciary, and autonomy. Okay, which story are we taking in the...
Magu, let me quickly just
take Magu, because I have two
it's a
stories
matter of
there.
opinion already. So Magu was not, promoted in the recent promotion. 167 other officers were promoted. Tope has the story.
No, go
You took fish story, I took Magu story.
Take
Continue.
fish.
Okay, let me take Zuma. So, former President Zuma turned himself into the police overnight to begin his jail term for defying a court order to give evidence at an inquiry into corruption while he was in power from 2019 to 2018. The inquiry is led by the Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, and he begins his 15-month jail term, and I think he's eligible for parole in about 4 months.
Wow.
But the fact that...
And the minimum you do 4 months. You see, I must applaud him because, one, I applaud the institution, then I applaud him for not escaping the institution or trying to cut the laws, cut behind the law.
We're living in
hiding in a basket.
Yes, because we as a nation, with each individual, we must encourage and take responsibility and encourage the rule of law.
And encourage facing consequences. So
Yes.
I wanted to finish on Magu's story.
Okay,
so
please.
Magu has been probed. The allegations against Magu remain allegations. For this long that he was removed, probes and probes, no prosecution, no conviction. I think they should stop witch hunting him. If you have any evidence against this person
Bring
as
it
the head
forward.
of the FCC, please let's just do things properly.
And now promotion without him getting
We
it.
have to wrap up. The fish.
I don't know.
Okay, I have the fish story. I thought you had the fish story. So Nigerians consume 3.6 million tons of fish, and we only produce 1.1 million. So we import about 2.5 million tons. And obviously, of course, the president is trying to ensure that we turn that around such that we import less than
Let the president protect the farmers.
See what they can do here.
We don't have the capacity.
They should protect farmers.
It's catfish. It's catfish on most of our
We even do
ponds.
tilapia. We even do tilapia.
tilapia.
But the point is, we're spending. I'm studying the cassava plantation process, and we're going to have to spend more money protecting the cassava than planting the cassava. We'll spend more money protecting it.
Not buying rice
So protect the farmers.
Nigerians, there are things in place to protect the farmers. Are the farmers taking advantage of it?
Which thing?
It's Friday. Don't come and stress me out this morning. Let's go on a break. When we come out, our friends from Lush are here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Yeah, so welcome back. It's Mariam Longa's birthday today. We love you. We're saving it for this time because we wanted to bring in Kike Omole, who is our guest. How you doing, Kike?
Hi guys, I'm good.
Good to have you. So
Mariam
did her hair with Lush. recently, and she looks so beautiful. So I would really like for you to just say happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Miriam. I wish you every good thing of life. Prosperity, everything, all that your heart desires.
Thank you. So, Keke Omole, you are a hairstylist and the co-founder of Ace Beauty Bar. Tell us about your journey to becoming a hairstylist, because I love the idea that you're a hairstylist, and I think it's a great thing. But let me hear about your journey. How did you fall in love with hair making?
Okay, so growing up, I've always loved like everything beauty, everything fashion. I've always loved, you know, styling my hair, changing my looks. I have always loved it. Like today, in fact, I remember when I was in school, you know, when we make hair for like, you know, usually you make your hair for at least 2-3 weeks to keep it. But me, I don't, my hair, at least after a week, I take my hair, I change my hair, so I change my looks. So that's how. So I think you know, I decided, okay, why don't we, this is my passion, this is what I love. Why can't I just turn it into a money-making business? You know, why can't I just turn it? And then, so we came about the Ace Beauty Bar. So instead, and also, I was like, instead of us restricting ourselves to just hair, why don't we do other things? So the Ace Beauty Bar itself, it's a one-stop shop for everything glam. So we do hair, we do nails, we do makeup, lashes.
Like a complete spa.
It's a complete spa. Makeup, lashes, body polish, body massage. We also have a barber shop for guys. So you can literally come in the way you are, and then you go out living extremely different.
Wow.
So
Not the same.
Not the same. So you can come in, get your hair done, get your makeup done, get your nails done, your mani, your massage, pedicure, a whole lot.
My kind of thing.
Yeah.
So share with us some of the highlights of your journey in hairstyling.
Okay, I think for me, the major highlight for me is customer satisfaction. I'm always happy the fact that customers trust us to, you know, take care of them in terms of everything, especially, you know, their looks. It's something that actually gives me joy, because sometimes customer comes in and says, okay, you know what, this is the style I want to do. Okay, this is my hair, this is the style I want to make. And then we have professionals that would tell them, okay, you know what, this particular style, I know you like it, but it might not suit your face, it might not suit your color. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And then the trust that the customer has for us to know that we'll deliver. And then when they're done, they go out looking, oh my God, so this is actually me. So for me, customer satisfaction, quality service, quality service delivery is my highlights of
So I was in the beauty industry before I moved into real estate, so I know there are challenges with every industry. What has been your challenge over the years?
I think for the most part, the challenge, especially doing business in Nigeria, it's not easy. You know, the prices of things, inflation. I think it's a major issue, it's a major challenge. And you know, we also have to somehow pass the cost to the customer, you know, and then we have to pass the cost to them in such a way that we don't also scare them away, you know. And so that's also a challenge, because by the time I go to the market and I buy my products and I see that, okay, they are expensive, the prices have increased, I have to somehow incorporate it into, you know, the price I'll give my clients. And, you know, I also wouldn't want to scare them away. So that's also a challenge, you know, maintaining the price and also maybe increasing the price so as not to drive the clients away. And then this COVID, I think we opened 2020 in March. I think the month we opened, that was actually the month the lockdown started. So it was a challenge. But now that, you know, with the vaccine and, you know, the COVID, the lockdown is easing a bit. So we are getting to see traction in that aspect.
What are the trends? Share with us some 3 top trends that you have on your hair journey.
Okay, so we have, I can see some naturalistas here. So I mean, twisting up colors, that's one thing that's trending now. So people don't want to just have the basic black hair. So people try to twist, you know, changing the colors of their hair, you know, and then braids is actually really trending. Braids in several colors. You know, people don't want to just do the normal black braid, brown braid. So you see braids in different colors.
Blue, pink.
You see pink. You see yellow, and and that is people trying to express themselves through that. And then we also have the crochet. Because like now, I'm also a natural. I also have natural. Yeah, I'm also a naturalista. So now, most times people want to do crochet. That's like these 4 locks. Yeah, and you don't want to use you don't want to thread your hair with it. So this 4 lock now comes in crochet. So you just weave your hair and then, you know, sew it in. So that's actually a huge trend.
Now that tell us about your partnership with Lush. Because obviously, they brought this new vibe of colors, orange, pink, blue, and I'm thinking, and it actually looks good. And you're thinking, you know, I thought it was weird initially, but when you see people wearing it, it looks really nice and trendy and shit. So why do you partner with Lush, and why is that important at this time?
Lush hair, Lush, they're actually one of the top growing hair brands in Nigeria, and they're actually very good. Their hair quality is, you know, top notch, you know, and every client, every customer wants to have, you know, good quality hair, good quality products. So, you know, and Lush hair, they're really doing very well. Like, they're climbing up the ladder. And so also Ace Beauty Bar is also climbing up the ladder. So it's like a match made in heaven. So, I mean, why not?
But Lush looks like it's for certain kind of young people, trendy.
No, not really.
So, it's for everybody. Because
it's for everybody. It's for everybody. It's for everybody. Like, even my grandma, I can get her a Lush braided wig and she wears. I can get her Lush kinky braids and do it for her. So Afro, I can get her Lush Afro wig. My mom actually likes Lush, Afro wig. So I actually got her Afro wig. So yeah, it's for all.
What advice would you give to anyone who's looking to come into the hair industry?
I think for me it's dream, believe, and achieve. You know, so when you have a goal, when you have a vision, you know, pursue that goal, follow it through. Yeah, there might be hurdles on the way, like we all do. There might be hurdles, there might be challenges, but do not give up on your dreams. If you have a passion for something, go for it, chase it, don't stop. Don't think about, oh, the economy. Go for it, and I know that, yeah, you can achieve it with prayers, with dedication, with hard work. You know, you will succeed.
Dream, believe, achieve.
Nice,
yes,
fantastic.
dream,
so
believe, achieve.
We wish you the best. I mean, now your business is just trying to start up.
Yes,
and just to, you know, build up. And the Ace Beauty Bar. So you treat for men. People like us were concerned about children. I like to send my kids somewhere where just get your hair done.
Oh my God! In fact, like I said, it's the one-stop shop. You can come with your kids, your husband. In fact, the men are not left out because we have a barber shop for them. We have a spa that you can come with your spouse. They get pampered, you know. You can do couple massage, you know. You can do couple massage.
The problem, for covered women, we don't go to salons that are open to everybody. So I have a place where I make my hair one time.
Okay.
Even though they have that standard, one time.
Yes, and that's why we have a home service. Yeah, we have.
So we can use your facility.
If you
what
can,
would you do
book.
different?
That's feedback for you. So for people who are covered, you can now begin to have an exclusive.
I can have an exclusive space for and then we can also do home service. Like all our services, we actually have a home service option for you. So you can come, even if you want to get your massage done, if you want to do your body polish, your body,
because we do massage.
Of course, so we can we can send our professionals to you to get your massage done. You can get your lash, your makeup, everything, your nails, everything done. You don't even need to stress yourself to come. But yeah, that's the feedback that I'm going to take up. I'm going to take up.
With your partnership with Lush Hair.
Thank you.
You like Lush because of that guy that came. The markets are, oh my goodness, I can never forget that guy. He was all over the place, you know.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah, they have
we're feeling the guy, you know. I'm like,
so you guys, it's Beauty Bar. We are in Lekki Phase 1 of Freedom Way. So just come in the way. In fact, you don't even need to come with, my attachment, my wig, this, my... Just come as you are. Even with your wig, we revamp it.
Nice. I need this wig to be revamped.
Oh, yeah, bring it. I'll wait for you.
All right, that's all we can take on this. Thank you very much. We're going to go on a break. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, our guest today is a shepherd in charge of Genesis Global, a ministry within the Commission of the Celestial Church of Christ. He has been tagged the founder of the modern type of Celestial Church with some urban appeal. following his distinct style, which made him more visible than many in his age range who are spiritual shepherds of the white garment churches in Nigeria. Welcome with us, Pastor Oladele Ogundipe in the building. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm as well.
All right, so we're going to interview you a bit later, but we want you to join this conversation. Yesterday, on Your View, we started a conversation. We referenced a pastor who had said that he liked women with waist beads. He liked neck chains, busy neck chains. Yeah, he liked all this slight makeup, making women looking a bit sexy, and that he's saying that people should slay it, you know, because he's a pastor doesn't mean that he should like these things. And since you're a pastor in our midst, and because even Nima and Obiajilu were not here doing that conversation, we'd like to hear your thoughts on it. I'd like to start with Nima before I come to our guest. So the man was alluding to the fact that he's a man, he has interest. And one of the things we said yesterday is that, yes, you're a man, you have interest, but we've raised young Christian girls to be in a certain way. So where will she learn waist beads from? Where will she learn ankle chain from? Where will she learn all these sexiness from? When you've conditioned her to be a certain way as a Muslim girl, as a Christian girl. So are they being fair to be demanding this of a woman in marriage?
No, if he chose to raise his daughter differently, as he would love, there's nothing wrong there. I had the freedom. I think what is holy and godly is different from what is a fashion preference. So I love the chains all over me as well. I dress like that within my house. I do that. I did that growing up. And so my father would always say, knock on their door for you not to go blind. So he would want to come to my room. The girls had a room where we could do anything. And he would knock before coming in because we would be sometimes, and we pay for henna. It's Ilea soon. I had a person, my friend, she will be I will be posting her today. She'll be at my house every week for Ilea, hennaing us up. You know, so it is okay to look fashionable, to dress, to have that, and that doesn't make you godly or ungodly. What people forget is that your being godly has to be your relationship that you have with God. Right. I was saying to somebody the day before yesterday that you will pray and then you're still fighting. Is it that you did not trust that God has taken care of you? Because you didn't trust that. If you did trust that, there are certain things that you just leave because you know it's taken care of.
All right, let me hear your business thoughts on this.
So I think we pay attention to aesthetics and we lose the real focus of being godly and being moral and being Christianly, which is all about your impact, the sort of impact that you make on other people. So I have seen, growing up in the university, those people who don't wear anything were the most wicked of classmates. You can't enter their room, you can't put your slippers, you can't stay on their bed. And they had this look of nothing. When you wear earrings, you wear anklet, you wear nose ring, they see you as the devil, but their character is that of the devil. So let us pay attention to what matters. And I wanted to go to the scriptures. Song of Solomon 1:10 says, your cheeks are lovely with ornaments.
The neck is
your neck with the strings of jewels. These were things that women of old used to adorn themselves. So if a man of God says, I prefer a woman to adorn herself, he has not done anything wrong. Now I wear waist beads, and my daughters wear waist beads. They wear with mommy.
Let me come to the pastor, because so she has quoted Songs of Solomon and all that, and we see that. But the truth, in reality, when we are raising our young girls in the church, we make them feel like you have to be holy.
It's one generation that started this.
It depends on the church. When the church is transformational, you're not just going to come through that angle. Like a few days ago, my wife just told me, she calls me babe, and I said, don't call me babe. I don't want to start acting like one. I'm a man. Okay, I'm just moving to the angle. She said, okay, if I was going to give her permission to tint her hair to gold or something, and she was considering my mom. My mom happens to be a Christ Gospel Apostolic woman. And I told her my mom hasn't been a rigid mother. Of course, my mom will be interested in what makes me happy. If it's going to make you happy, it's going to make me happy. Wow. I actually saw the hair of a pastor's wife too, who actually tinted her hair to gold. And I said, you're free to do that. Wow. It's not going to stop you from being who you are, as long as that's going to make me happy at home, and my kids are going to be happy with it.
But
so there's nothing
what
wrong
if there are external influences by the elders in church or the mothers that say, listen, you are the wife of the pastor, you can't be tinting your hair. I mean, these are real
The problem
issues.
we have is from OPO. other people's opinion. Other people's opinion about you is nothing. It's got nothing to do with your life. My church members, my leaders are not going to be they're not going to be they're not going to judge me when I get to heaven, and they're not going to give me happiness in my own home. It is the happiness from my home that will affect the church. If I'm not happy at home, how am I going to pass message? How am I going to preach to them to be happy? So OPO is why many people cannot move forward and make themselves happy. Other people's opinion.
Yes. There's so much out there.
You see, so for me, other people's opinion, I felt like it took me back into the world. So I was born in CNS, but I moved into CAC when I gave my life to Christ. Like I was born again. Did away with earrings, no more trousers, was wearing long skirts. I went into school and I was really, really consistent, no trousers and all that. But I started looking at other people and I felt they were Christians and they were looking good. Why was my own Christianity not allowing me to wear trousers and earrings and all of that? And it was those other people's opinion that made me start venturing into wearing trousers. At a point, I was not feeling guilty that, this is not what they taught me in my church. I'm not supposed to wear all these things. So are we raising religion to, are we indoctrinating our physical outfits into the religion, or we should focus our religion more on focusing on our thoughts, our character, our behavior, and just say, wear whatever you want to wear, but have good character?
Can you take that liberty to say, wear what you wear? Can people take that kind of liberty?
When you people finish, I'll quote another one.
Christianity is not a religion, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It comes with conviction, it comes with Christ-like attitude, it comes with your belief system. Christianity is not all about traditions, it's about transition. Be ye not conformed to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. When your mind is transformed, your life is transformed.
The mind, emphasis.
When your mind is transformed, your life is transformed. Same thing happened to my father when he got his leg broken and his sister was not going to take injections. As a Christ Gospel Apostolic deacon, we tried all our best. He insisted he was not going to take injection until he would go back to God without taking injection. I lost him.
Wow.
It was painful, but he was actually a man of faith. I'm still a man of faith, but I've been able to move from that traditional concept of Christianity to transitional concept of Christianity. So and that's what I'm enjoying
Let me never ask you this question. Can a pastor like sexy? Or is a pastor allowed to like sexy?
Yeah.
Yes, I see.
Oh.
As long as you can see, as long as you value what you're seeing. We have so many actors and actresses now who are so pretentious that you're not using earring does not mean you're born again. You're born again, then you are still born to gain. What am I going to gain from my wife if she's not making me happy? What am I going to... Then I will start looking at someone else.
Don't go too fast. Shouldn't you, if you are from the flock, the things to attract you shouldn't be the things that attract the world.
No.
So the world can like all these but you as a man of God,
yes, you like character.
It is the character of a pious woman
That's what I'm saying.
You should be attracted to.
That is what
Why
I'm
would
saying.
You like a woman with the blonde hair?
The character complements the beauty. The beauty connects to character. So that is why I'm saying this. I am not looking at other people. I'm going to tell them this is what I'm seeing in them. So if you're going to be able to do this, instead of me looking at them, do that for me.
My question is that if you were married, okay, I'm Muslim, and your wife is two personalities, because I have two personalities. Okay. There's a public appearance and there's a private appearance. Islam says cover your adornment. So you did not say take away your adornment. Yes. You are to adorn, and Muslim women do. They will spar up, we do all of that, and then we cover up for publicly. So if your wife had mommy yard look
outside,
because you're a pastor in church, you know there's a standard, but what pleases you is what she gives you at home. Is it okay?
Yes, very okay. Because I told you about her tinting her hair. I'm a celestial shepherd. She's going to cover, when she gets to church, she will cover her hair when she gets to church.
Because she covers.
Because when she gets home, she's not going to sit. I mean, she will not.
Does tinting make her ungodly?
Not at all. As long as it's making her happy and I'm happy. It's not. Okay, many of us came to the world with jerry coils on our head. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. But if we're to judge how God created us, we came to the world with jerry coils.
So quickly, I want to read Ezekiel 16:8-12. When I passed by you again, this is God speaking to his beloved, his people. I passed by you again and saw you. Behold, you were at the age for love. And I spread the corner of my garment over you and covered your nakedness. I made my vow to you and entered into a covenant with you, declares the Lord God, and you became mine. Then I bathed you with water and washed off your blood from you and anointed you with oil. I clothed you also with embroidered cloth and shod you with fine leather. I wrapped you in fine linen and covered you with silk. And I adorned you with ornaments and put bracelets on your wrists and chain on your neck. And I put a ring on your nose and earrings in your ear and a beautiful crown on your head. We need to understand that our God is a God of beauty. Okay. As long as you do not use that beauty to cause something else for another person, to lead that person astray, so you can do what you do in the confines of your home and your...
There's a privacy and
public. There should be privacy and public. Because I have to say this. We've taken so much transition. Christianity has moved so far from tradition and transitioned so much that I see some things in the church and my hand is on my chest like this, that ushers now have pashmina everywhere to protect other Christians from falling into sin. Because you are transitioning and because you are enjoying your liberty, you are adorning yourself, then you will wear the one that if you bend, we will see what we should not be seeing. Or you are abundantly blessed by God and then you now wear body hug and come to church. And I'm wondering, hello, what are you doing?
That's on the person. So where do we draw the line? That's the question.
If we transition, we will lose everything.
I won't be able to defend. I won't be able to talk too much. I'll be able to talk much on that because my own church is totally different. We wear white garment where everything is covered. And you have simplicity matters when you come to Genesis Global. And you're not going to wear sultana that is transparent. So I wouldn't have been able to, I'm not going to be able to defend.
But let me tell you the one you must be able to defend. Because still talking about transitioning, you allowed our Ghanaian Adams to come to your church.
Okay, that's
you allowed
we have not started
we're transitioning now. Transitioning means that from traditional way of doing things, this church is supposed to be holy. This is a sacred place. And you bring in somebody who's secular into the church. So that's transition. That's what we're saying. Where do we draw the line?
We're getting that very soon. But if you're looking at it from the angle she picked it from, she picked from the church and those who are not wearing covering their body. It's totally different from what we're talking about.
I have now thrown this one at you. So have you transitioned to allowing secular music into your church?
Of course. Who are we preaching to? Who are we preaching to? God himself does not need perfect people. He's in need of imperfect people to perfect his own things that he has created. We're not perfect. One of the problems we have in this generation is trying to form to perfect. And if we are too perfect, there will be no need for his grace and his mercy. And that's why we're bringing people to Christ. Why are we bringing them to Christ if they don't need Christ or need God in their lives?
I agree with you, sir.
Let's go on a break.
Are we going on a break?
When we come back, we're not getting into your interview proper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have the spiritual shepherd of Genesis Global, Pastor Oladele Ogundipe, with us. Before the break, BC had a question you wanted to comment, right?
Yes. I just wanted to make us understand that the church is a mixed multitude. It's not everybody that is in church that has given their life to Christ. For some people, it's a process. They keep coming. One day, God touches them. Some have given their life and they come for more anointing and more connection to God and all of that. So when we see people who still, show off their body parts and everything and look very flamboyant because they are coming to seduce somebody, we don't categorically call them Christians because they have not been transformed. And that transition, when it happens, the Holy Spirit will start touching them by themselves to start adjusting. So there are some things you wear and like, no, this is, and that happens. It's a process. But we're always in a hurry to see that change immediately when it comes to the church. And also, the scripture says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all they that dwell therein. We don't go outside and say, I'm going to a secular bank or a Christian bank or a Muslim bank. Everything is the Lord's. So there is nothing like secular or gospel and all of that. What separates us is the fruits of the Spirit, and we should focus on that.
All right. Okay, hallelujah, church member. Okay. All right, so I wanted to, you've been out of prison recently, obviously for what happened, and you said that experience taught you quite a lot of lessons, I know that you partnered with Monday Obani Foundation to help to bring out a lot of people who have been wrongly arrested and they've been there deteriorating in the cell. Tell us about your experience and what he has taught you and what you hope to do with it. with the experience?
Yeah, a life of no impact is a life of no value. I've seen myself going there before going there. Actually, the case has been on for over 12 years. And sometimes God will intentionally delay some things for him to manifest his own assignments in your life. But when I got in there, I saw it as a blessing that I've never given up following, trusting God. Those that know that God shall be strong and they will do exploits. Daniel 11:32. I went in there. The first thing that came was actually my daughter's birthday. But I was meant to, I love my daughter so much. I was meant to be broken, but I said to myself, no, I'll have to go in there and impact lives. So when I got in there, I saw so many people going through so many things. And I saw myself as people's answer to their own problems, because some people were actually praying, oh Lord, send people or send someone that will help us. So when I got in there, I started helping people, and I connected, and I called Monday Ubani, Barrister Monday Ubani, and we started helping people.
Okay, so I know that when the story broke out about the sentencing and all of that, people felt that, how can a man of God be caught in this kind of thing? What would you say hurt you most? The judgment of people on you, or the judgment of the courts in dealing with the situation?
No, I saw everything as something that worked together for my good. Because if I'm going to be God's friends, I know some people will hate me because I love God. Some people will hate me because I value God. And some people will love me because I love God. So I saw it as something that worked together for my good. The first thing that came into my mind was to have the spirit of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. I've always been doing that for a very long time, because what actually took me there was not enough to take me there. Mm-hmm. If I to consider what the judge did and what people said. But I am someone who is so passionate about being purpose-driven. Mm. So I embrace the spirit of forgiveness, and I said to myself, I will have to forgive. And that was what.
Yeah, so what were some of the mistakes you made that got you to that point that you have now learned from, that you would not repeat?
Yeah, in 2009, I was not, when the case started, I was open enough, and I keyed to the word of that Bible that says, if your enemy wants to take you to the court, if the person should ask for a shirt, give the person your coat. So I thought being transparent would have helped me that much. Mm-hmm. So when I wrote it, I said, okay, it was a relationship. She did this for me. Okay, I'm not going to deny it. Okay, whatever she asked me to do, I was ready to do it. And I wrote undertaking, and I said I was going to do it, but they didn't allow me. As of then, I was not really blessed to do that. But because I remember I met the lady, the person, when I was naked. She was really, really there for me when I was nobody. And there was no reason for me to deny her. Even when the police then was telling me to deny, I said, no, I was not going to deny her, because she was there for me when I was nobody. I am not regretting being truthful. But the painful part of it is the first time I was arraigned to court, I was taken to court in 2009, I was kidnapped to the court. Mm-hmm. So one of the things we follow in Nigeria is that a police should come, don't resist arrest. And I didn't resist, I followed them. They said they came from Panti, and on our way to Panti, they said, you're going to court. They took me to the court without my lawyer, and that was the way they arranged it, through Ministry of Justice. Wow. So it was a very big mistake for me to have allowed them, followed them without calling my lawyer. Yeah. And when it all started, I was too churchy, believing everything
will be okay. Very important. And I'm so sorry, Nima. You know what? This is very, very important, because my pastor raised an issue one time that he found people that were falsifying his book. And they were saying, you're a pastor, how can you sue them to court? And he said, no, there must be rule of law.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the lessons that we should also learn from you. Exactly. That even whatever you go through, there must be...
Ask for your lawyer.
Get your lawyer.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Go ahead. That's because this is your view. This case was supposed to be obtained by false pretense. Are you saying it was a relationship gone wrong, and that this person just, because I'm wondering, if that was why you were found guilty, this term is short compared to what you should have gotten. Exactly. So what are the details, the gray areas in this?
I'm still going to hold some words back for the right time to come, because we challenged the judgment, and to the glory of God, I was granted bail, and we're still waiting for a result from the Court of Appeal. So that's why I'm just going to hold some things back. And I don't want to be defensive. Yeah. I'm just using my life to build people, encourage people.
So have you made peace with this woman?
Way back, since 2009. Okay. The property she said I didn't buy for her.
No, when I say peace, as in both of you is talking terms right now.
No way. We've not been able to come in contact since over 12 years. So the land she said I didn't buy for her, I bought for her for 1.4 million. Now that land, that property is there, is now 15 million. The one I bought for her for 400,000 now, they're now 15 million per plot. And that should be enough.
Right.
And they're still there. I didn't sell anything. And those properties are still there. But trust me, in Nigeria, I mean, if they really want to deal with you, it depends on who knows. And but by the time they do it, if you don't know what you're doing, you will just cry and you just pay for what you've not done.
Your record now, you're by the books, you're an ex-convict, right? It's in your papers, in your books now. But how does that make you feel? Like, okay, you're pastoring of a church as a convicted person. Does that have any? Do you feel it tarnishes your image somehow, or you don't really? Doesn't bother you?
I have not been convicted.
Yes.
I was wrongfully charged. And I'm not just going to hold on to that. Yeah. I'm not an ex-convict. Right. It was my character building moment.
Right.
And I was a man on assignment. When I got in there, I assisted people, and I'm still assisting. I assisted over 80 people out of the place, and we're still working on that now. Wow. And to the glory of God, I've been able to impact lives there. I built Mercy Land there. Now, this week, I'm still going there. Every November 18, I'll have to go there for Liberty concerts. I've been able to turn my mess to my message. I've been able to see opportunity in my captivity, and I'm still working on that.
So let's talk about your books. Now you mentioned Mess to Message.
Yeah, I've written Mess to Message. I've written No More Slavery. I've written Be Unstoppable. Wow. And I'm working on opportunity in my captivity.
All inspired by yours.
Yes, story. Yes, my story.
Wow.
And my movie, too, will be coming out very soon. Wow. And it's going to be on Netflix.
Okay, so
you are squeezing this experience,
which is great.
Yes.
But
so I know that you have partnered with Ubani as well.
Yes.
To have a foundation where you're going to be helping people. What inspired you when you got in the cell or the prison? What inspired you to start helping people around? What did you see that made you
How was it? What was that experience in Kirikiri?
What did you see?
Yeah, it's been part of me from the beginning, even without that, because I've been through a lot in my life. I was formerly a bus conductor. I was a beggar. I didn't go to school, no university, no polytechnic. But I've been moving from one level of glory to another in school of life, because I've been able to attend faculty of understanding, department of challenges or problems. So when I got in there, the first thing I realized, you don't need to pray for popularity or work towards it. Just be impactful, and they will talk about you, and people will confirm your God. I buried the Christianity inside of me beyond religion, and I embraced humanity, and I started helping people. Wow. I saw people crying, a lot of people hungry, a lot of people suffering. There was a man who's been there for 3 years who got his leg broken. God used me to sponsor him to go for surgery. So took him to Igbobi, and he was operated. Wow. He's been there he's actually on death row. Waiting for when he would die, and as well going through that. And God said, take off that. And I sponsored some people like that to different hospitals, and started impacting lives. So I got in there and I said, okay, there are a lot of rich people who hardly go to that place to know what people are going through. Now, God has shown me extension of my ministry, and through that, I established Israel Ogundipe ministry. So I am not just to complain about it. I'm not supposed to feel bad about it. I have to see what I am going to do to affect my generation.
You have to pass through that test.
Yeah.
Do you fund your charities personally, or do you raise funds?
Yes, I have partners all over the world. I have people who are really supporting me. I have people sometimes who just call me, what do you think we're supposed to do for this people or for that?
I want to ask you about, because some of us never knew you even existed, I mean, from many years ago, until we got those short clips about you and those messages that were very quite profound that went viral. People say, who is this guy? This is a white garment churches. We know them as, you know, but you brought up this new generation. Tell us about that. Was it deliberate, or it just so happened that you're ministering and somebody just extracted your message and went viral? How did that happen? That people started knowing you?
You are a product of your thoughts. When you think it, you work towards it. being a transformational leader, I just said to myself, no, I'm not going to go to the stream. I'm not going to go to the bush. Instead of me going to the stream and going to the bush, what are the things I'm supposed to do? Let me teach people if they are well-rooted in the word. When you are well informed, you'll be transformed. When you are revelated, you'll be elevated. You'll be accelerated. So, and I realized it's not about praying alone, it's about praying and planning. Then I started restructuring what I needed to restructure. And to the glory of God, I started passing messages, transforming lives through the word of God. And that's why we're really growing.
Okay, so we cannot ignore the fact that there's the video of it that went viral where you gathered the money in the church
and gave it
to somebody. Gave it to, you know, like it's unusual. And it came in at a time when the churches were being attacked for mismanagement of the resources. How would you say, so you know, there's the policy from the new, the documents that came out, a lot of churches were against it, that was saying that there must be a board of trustees, the CAC process that watches on how the church finance is handled. Do you agree with it? Two, that video, did you plan it? Like, is it something that, was it just Holy Spirit minister to you to tell you that there's somebody that needs money here, let me gather this offering and give the person?
Holy Spirit ministered to me, and that was one out of thousands. I believe church money does not belong to pastor. That's why in our church we have a cooperative group. We have a department that handles that if you want to get a small loan, go to that department, get that loan without interest.
Wow.
And we had so many things that was just one. But that day I was led. And severally, it takes God to lead you. And when you are being led, you become a very good leader. So I was being led to do that. I actually saw that woman, and I saw her, and God said, look at that woman. She's got nothing she will eat if she gets home. And all the offering we gave to her.
But you don't have a job. So, you see, and I want us to break this thing down. Let us foresee where because there are pastors who have jobs, and there's a system in place that handles all the offering and tithes. But you don't have, you're a pastor. That's your...
I'm a prophet.
You're a prophet. That's your primary assignment. Role. So how do you feed? How do you feed? So is it from the church purse you take a percentage, or how do you feed?
I've never been part of church money, and that's where mercy comes in. When what you gain, what you enjoy in your life comes from effort, then you are far from mercy. As a prophet, if I pray for people, I've got people who comes back with good results, who would just come and tell me, oh, after you pray for me, this happened to me, this happened to me. I'm not going to deny the fact that they are really blessing me. I've got a lot of people blessing me all over the world, both Muslims and Christians. Some people just wake up and say, Israel will feel like blessing you. And some will just wake up. Imagine someone say, I feel like blessing you. I'm not going to bless the church too. I'm blessing the church with 5 million, and I'm blessing you with 2 million.
You don't feed off church offerings and
tithes? No, I will never be part of that. And I will never be part of it. It's a legacy that we follow in Genesis Global. It's not going to happen.
So I would feel bad if I don't share this testimony, because he is my neighbor. And the church was one of, the instruments that made my street in that Alakoko look like an estate when you come, because he's always constantly trying to pave stones and all of that. And there were a few times he had graded the main street, Dalemo, down. And they had talks on how they can go around and do more of the work, but you know how government things are, they refuse to do it. So I can testify. In fact, the day that money was given to the woman in church, my help ran to me and said, Mommy, this is what happened. I was home that day. Wow. It happened. So it's not just, it's not stories.
The one I used for our street, someone gave me a car, 25 million, and I sold the car. A life of no impact is a life of no value. How am I going to enjoy that road alone? And we sold the car, and I used
value.
I used to pave the road, the stone.
Well done.
Okay, I want to talk on, go ahead.
Yes, please. I want to go back to the journey of being a pastor and how prophets and how money usually causes issues, and people always complain. And I know you've made a decision in your own church. Okay, you don't draw salary, you don't touch church funds, but many other churches do it. There was a story that went viral recently, really sad story, of the man that died because they lit a candle around him, and they were spraying stuff, and he caught fire. 3rd-degree burn led to his death. And these are cultures within Sele. And I know you said you modernized, but how modern is your modernity? Do you still do candles and
spraying? No, we don't.
Sprinkling of water?
We don't do that. Apart from being led by the Spirit of God, there are some things we look at and we say, okay, these are not supposed to be. We're supposed to change it. Going to the stream to bath, going to the junction to use something to wash your head.
Oh, really? You stopped there?
No, we don't do that.
Oh.
We don't do that.
But you know
of course. But some people will have to do it probably being led by God through them. But sometimes you have to grow from level of maturity to another level of maturity. Anything outside the Bible, anything outside the Word of God, I am not part of it. I've done that before going to the stream, but I started growing. There was a time I said to myself, all these stream, all this river, very soon they will turn them to fish pond. And over time, they've not started kidnapping people. I said, I'm not going to go to the bush to pray. If they are kidnapping those who are tall, it's not going to be hard for them to kidnap me as a short person. It wasn't that something told me. I just said to myself, instead of going to the bush, going to the stream, let us pray. Let's come together. Let's pray when we're in the church and get results. And to the glory of God, I pray for people on phone. I pray for them anywhere. I pray for them without my sultana, and they've been producing results. Wow. The only thing that can terminate insult in your life is results.
True.
So, and that's why God has been faithful to me.
I'll let you come in. So I want it to be clear. So you're telling me, because you are celestial, right?
Yes, yes.
And you are from the Oshofa lineage.
Yes.
And you are saying that the practices you learned, you remodeled yours such that you're not aligning to that. So you're doing Genesis is a completely different. Are you not a straight church?
No, it's all about conviction. This is when they started NTA.
Yeah.
Sorry to use NTA or some other television stations. When we look at TVC. It's totally different.
Yes.
When we look at my views, it's totally different. Yeah. If you've not been able to produce results and you're not impacting life and there's nothing meaningful about you, I'm not going to be here.
Right.
So when you see what you're doing, I have my mentors like Bishop T.D. Jakes, my daddy like Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, and some other people like that, some great fathers like that, Apostle Suleiman and all that. And I realized that it's not about the doctrine. It's not about the dogma. It's about Christ-like attitude and conviction about what I am doing.
So you were talking now, and I was wondering, you have brought logic into the ways that you grew up and said, okay, I can't be doing bush prayers or and all of those things. And then recently, there was one video that you had where you talked about sex and the number of minutes it should last. Is it godly inspired, that sermon, or was it just a personal opinion or logic again?
It's so funny that Nigeria, we concentrate
on the
trivia.
Yeah, and that video, someone cut the video.
Okay.
They removed some parts.
Yeah.
Just like when I said, how would you be enlarging your bum instead of you to enlarge your brain? And you can see what has been happening to those who are enlarging. I know some people who are doing that wouldn't like me. I was trying to talk to some youths who have to take drugs, who have to take cannabis and all that before having sex.
Okay,
so that was what I was trying to discourage people about. So they now cut that part of 5 minutes.
Because we were scared that you're not tackling it on just 5 minutes.
No.
So as a pastor, what is the right amount of time?
It's up to you. It's got to do with your choice.
It's an important question.
It's got to do with your choice and your strength.
Yeah.
But so I want to ask you about
calm down. When we come back, we are not done with Pastor David. We should not go there.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Focus on how your life will be better. Focus on some things that will make your life to be better. Keep moving. Focus. Don't mind them. Let them talk about you. Let them hate you. Let them rubbish you. Let them lie against you. Let them fight you. Focus.
Please tell us about that.
I was not even thinking about it. Something came up. I was trying to tell my brother who happens to be the head of the media. No. Where are we now? Where are we? Are you in heaven?
No, but you're acting like you're of the world.
Are you in heaven?
You're acting like you're of the world.
You are in the world. You're not of the world. So that is one thing I'm not going to accept. I was trying to tell my younger brother, who happens to be the head of the media, he was doing something else. So I was trying to pass a message to him. So that was what came into my mind.
Inspired it.
Yes, God bless you. You see, when you are... Okay, I went for a birthday and I saw kids dancing. And I said, oh, stop shooting guns, stop shooting guns. And they said, no, we're not shooting guns, we're dancing. That dance is called focus. So I saw the way they were doing it and I was okay, gone. And I said to myself, okay, don't use your AK-47 to kill a mosquito. Don't use your right energy for wrong battle. Don't use yesterday's energy for today's battle. So focus on what will better your life. Focus on energy boosters. Focus on what will increase your capacity. Focus on your strength. Don't give the devil attention. For the devil not to give you direction.
They were diligently.
When you are afraid, when you are afraid of being criticized,
you will not be yourself.
You will not be yourself. You will not do anything new. That's one thing I am. Another name for success is called controversy.
So you're not scared of controversy?
I'm not at all. It's part of it. Jesus that I followed was actually, they attacked him. The Pharisees and the Sadducees misinterpreted what he was doing.
That reminds me, I need you to clarify this. There was a case, just like the Badru case that you cited now, where that, Labion had raised about a member from your church at the time that they brought on about, a fire happening. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, that was what happened why we stopped allowing people to go in trance. I was not around, and same thing happened. Normally, when they are supposed to pray for a prophet or prophetess coming from the trance, they will use perfume. I've always been against it even before that thing happened. But when it happened, I said, you can say, I told you. The lady was sitting down with candles in her hand, and someone was sprinkling that perfume, and that thing caught fire, and that was all. And to the glory of God, I sponsored, I did the whole, I sponsored her, I supported her. It wasn't only her. But to the glory of God, that was why I stopped it. I said, but I told you, we should stop all this thing. And that was why I stopped.
I have a question. Okay, the story of how you got into Celestial is quite profound. A lot of people don't know that story. Some people do. But I'd like you to just tell us, how did you find yourself in the Celestial? Were you born into this?
No, I was born in Muslim, Wasiu.
Okay.
And later my parents moved to Christ Gospel Apostolic Church.
Okay.
And love, they showed me love. I went to one Celestial church. I didn't go there as a sick person. My mother was mocked at our former church, the CSC church. Somebody mocked my mother. She's been the one that she's the most prayerful. She happens to be the most prayerful woman in the church, and our family happens to be the worst. Actually, she was actually wearing one clothes for 4 years. Wow. And you know when you attend a church where you have to change your clothes, and everybody will come with new clothes on Sundays and all that. My father stopped going to church because he was wearing only one agbada for many years. So that's why sometimes when you criticize people and you are judging people, I'm not going to allow you to judge me or teach me how to lace my shoes if you have not if you have not been in my shoes. So I left the church. And I was thinking, so I was thrown down the street. I saw some group of people sitting there. I saw a young man who was actually playing with them. He was wearing sultana. So when I joined the man, I started playing. He showed me love where my mother was mocked. So when I got to the church, I just decided, okay, let me start worshiping where everyone will have to wear one clothes. You will not be changing it. So they showed me love, and I started wearing sultana. And I started joining. So every Sunday, they would have to bless me, encourage me to come, and that was all. And me, I'm a loyalist. I love appreciating whatever you've done. I would never take what you've done in my life for granted. And I decided, okay, let me follow this man who showed me love. I started sleeping in the church. I started fasting. But that fasting in me was actually what brought me to the level of the prophetic.
Wow.
Because that time in my house and my family, when we went worshiping, when we moved to that Christ Gospel Apostolic Church, it was really, really bad. And to the glory of God, we were fasting. If we eat rice in our house, then it will be on Christmas Day. It will be another Christmas that we're going to eat rice. So I've been through a lot. That's why when I have anything in mind, I have something in mind, I must share. I must show love to people. I must just impart life. There was a time I was looking for someone. I stayed with someone. I was begging that person to allow me to sleep in his own generator house. I was homeless then. I remember I have so many artists that I saw then. I used to follow them thinking, maybe their destiny will help mine. But to the glory of God today, God is faithful.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, because, you know, I'm your neighbor now. And I used to worry that weekdays, the church is full, like people are coming for program. And I used to ask myself, is it that these people don't have jobs? And it's in the mornings. That's one. How does that work? That's one. Secondly, you have a lot of young people in your church. What are some of the things you're doing to empower them? The young people, energy.
Okay, the first one, the people you're saying during the week are businessmen and women. Those who have got time, not bankers, not lawyers, not those who are professionals. So, I mean, and some people who have got their own businesses will really prefer to come on Tuesday and pray and go back. Then youth in our church, we are empowering them. We have so many departments in the church. Right now, we are starting entrepreneurship, where we're going to catch them young, like 12 years. We're going to empower them, teach them how to go into various businesses. We're going to give them like 100,000, 150,000. And some people will monitor them and see the money grow. Just like the day I preached, I said, if you are in the church now to brag with 10 million, why don't you use that 10 million to invest, go and buy a land, a property for your family? If you're not responsible as a man at home, not taking care of your wife at home, not taking care of your children, why are you coming to church to brag instead of you taking care of your family? Your family is the first church. I know people will not see that. And to the glory of God, our church, small doctor attend our church, some other upcoming guys like that attend our church. Is just to tell them it is possible for you to work with your talent and still follow God and still serve God.
But for somebody who wouldn't have a formal education, you seem quite articulate.
You took that out of my mouth. That was literally the question.
And I'm thinking to myself, like,
how many schools?
How many schools? So how did you get to this level of
self-knowledge?
I believe in personal development. Everything is always difficult to the unwilling. When I came into your studio, I saw something spectacular. I called my son. I said, look at what we're supposed to do. Lately, I was studying how we're going to be able to manage stage. You wouldn't know that. So Auntie Yenny, I love her so much that if I follow her, I follow the creative part of her, the originality part of her. I'm not following who they have called her to be. Something's different about her is what I've been following. I listen to Fela Anikulapo Kuti, not because of his, the music, but because of the lyrics and creativity. Ba 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 mi sha ye mi yo, ke mi jeniyon. You know the beat, so someone who came from shrine, who wouldn't want to go back to shrine, would listen to me. Okay, when my blessing come, when my success come, I picked that from Yori Yori. So when you listen to that, I want to listen to this pastor. And later, you start joining the church.
You use catchphrases.
God bless you. So it's been the glory of God and creativity I've been developing myself. I'm a voracious reader. I read dangerously. Behind my bed, I have my library. In my office, I have my library. I have my own studio inside my house. And I'm as well learning editing. I believe if you want to do it, if you have can-do spirit, you need to start from self-discovery, self-discipline, determination, and devotion.
I feel
then you're good to go.
But recently, we have this. I follow another pastor online that I love to listen to. That's Daddy Freeze, and he talks.
Daddy Freeze, the pastor.
He's a pastor.
Pastor of Free Nation.
Daddy Freeze is a pastor.
The pastor of Free Nation.
So he goes against payment of tithe so strongly that you'd wonder why. What exactly are your opinion? What is your opinion about payment of tithe?
Tithing is biblical. It depends on what you do with it. What we do with our own tithe in church is to pay widows in the church. That those who are widows, aged people, old people, they are on salary in our church.
Oh, wow.
That's like the way the day I preached against, I was talking about first fruits. I wasn't against first fruits. But someone asked me a question. I was teaching them in church. I said, the person asked that, Daddy, she was able to gather her first fruit, I think 1 million naira, and she wanted to give it to her. I said, okay, how will you take care of your family? How will you take care of your mother? She actually told me that her mother was owing, and she needed to pay out of the money, but she was as well afraid of taking out of that money because of what the Bible says about first fruit. And I said, go and take care of your mother, take care of your family. God knows why you are not going to pay. If you should pay that first fruit now, how will you take care of your parents? Another one said she got a loan from the bank and she was asking if she needed to pay tithe out of the loan. I said, no, that was a big sign of foolishness inside of you. How can you get a loan from the bank? You have not started paying, and you have interest to pay on that, and you're going to pay tithe. So out of 10 million, now you're going to pay 1 million naira tithe on 10 million. How will you pay your loan back? So some people took that against me and they started waging war. So it's not about tithing, it's about what you do with your tithe. It's biblical, but what we do is to bless people.
But there's sometimes from the heart where you don't have to ask anybody any questions. Where you know, okay, yes, I don't have money to pay my rent, but this money I want to give it to God. And if you are convicted in your heart, shouldn't you be able to do that?
Yeah, it comes with conviction.
Yeah.
Compelled.
Yeah, there was a time a man bought me a car, and I asked him, have you been able to buy a car for your father? He said, no. Have you been able to buy it for your mother? He said, no. Then which one are you going to be using? He said, after this, he will start trekking. That happens to be our own conviction about my calling. And I said, no. If you can't use it, then go and give it to your parents, your father or your mother. You give it to me. It's my own right now to think and teach you how to take care of your parents, not considering me more than your parents. So some of my videos, people just go there and cut the video. They will use any part they want to use. There was a day I was preaching. I said, now if I tell all of you, about 5,000 people, to bring eggs to church and pray with eggs and use it to rub your body and break, you have killed a whole poultry. Because if we should use 5,000 eggs to bring out chickens and we rear and we sell for 2,000 or 5,000, 1,000 is going to give us huge amounts of money. And from that, we start empowering some people. Yes, some people still believe in that tradition, going to the stream, break eggs, break coconuts. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. It depends on how God has blessed you spiritually to do it without effort, to pray for people, to be transitionally minded and believe in 2 Corinthians 5:17. If a man is in Christ, is a new creature. All things have passed away and everything becomes new. You pray and you plan.
So I want to ask you about CAN and the Pentecostal Association as well. That what's your level of commitment to these Christian bodies, and what do you see about their statements concerning Nigeria? We've had a conversation extensively here, and you haven't really you've spoken about helping people, but like speaking truth to power. What's going on in the government? The government are not doing roads. The state is not doing this. That federal government, they are kidnapping. What's your position concerning CAN, their statements, and what's your own statement concerning government?
They are really doing well. I'm not going to say more than that. What will you do in a country where you say the truth and they start running after your life to take your life? No. What will you do in a country where you go and their mission is the person who's going to judge you is a Muslim or somebody that does not like your church, and he or she will align with your enemies to sentence you to jail and pick your words to destroy you? Many people are not afraid to die, but yet I'm still going to say mine. Instead of us complaining about Nigeria, what are we doing as Christians? I'm not talking about PFN or CAN now. Yeah. What are we doing to raise leaders that will go into politics? I don't like complaining about people. I like affecting, I like contributing my own part. What are we doing to raise creative-minded leaders with hearts to serve? Right. As Christians, to support them and encourage them to go into politics and change whatever we say we're supposed to change.
So let's talk about your relationship with fellow pastors. Recently, Pastor T.B. Joshua died, and yesterday I saw the line in it. For some reason, I use Torchlight be finding you people to see how many will be there, how many politicians will be there. This is someone that during his lifetime, per election, they will show up. Footballers would go. So I wanted to see how many of you. What's your relationship like, and why did none of you show up?
None of us. Well, pastors. I'm not going to judge people, and I'm not going to say.
So why didn't you show up?
Yeah, because I'm not saying those. I mean, some people went there, but this man was not celebrated by them when this man was alive. Yeah. I don't pretend. I watched that. I connected online, and that should be enough for me. Right. Not until I'm going to go there for people to see my face.
Before, and so there was no need.
Yes.
Talk about touch on politics, and I'd like to stay there for a minute, because people are asking that men of God should speak. You know, insecurity. Some are saying they want Biafra. Some are saying they want Yoruba nation. Some are saying, you know, we want total restructuring. We want self-determination. And the men of God we have today, many of them, some of them are speaking, but others are rather silent. What's your position as regards to what do you think the church should do at these times? Let's move Can and PFM. I'm talking about individual men of God speaking up at these times.
Yes, it's going to be very difficult for me to talk about it when so-called fathers will start waging war against the kid that is becoming the king. And they start picking your words and they start going against you. I've seen them, they've preached, they've addressed some of our leaders, and some of the things I expected them to say were not touched. Okay. So,
like what?
Okay, I learned from that, Joe. There was one Jew I saw talking to politicians, and I was expecting him to start firing them. To start telling them, if you're not following the path of the truth, this is what the Bible says. And the man was just digressing, that there's nothing God cannot do. God can take you from something to power. And I'm not going to say anything more than that. But I thought I learned a very big lesson. Daily, if it were to be you now, you will have started firing these people. And this man digressed. So what am I going to say? When it's your own time and your turn and your season, you will know what to say about it. I just believe God is going to take over this country.
Yeah, but are you encouraging your young church members to get into politics?
Yes, we are. We're doing that. We're really doing that. And it's not about politics. We're not aiming. We're not talking about Asurok. We're talking about impacting lives from the roots.
Let me throw this
from
question
the grassroots.
to you.
That is how we lead.
What are your thoughts on Sunday Igboho?
Sunday Igboho? About what?
As in, he's the fact that a lot of Yoruba people see him as, some see him as a hero, some see him as somebody who is standing against the government, others see him as a seditionist, trying to cause problem. What are your views on him?
My own about him is whatever you've seen him to be is who he is.
Politician, you too.
Bless God. So he paid the date now. They asked Jesus question. And he was writing. And he said, so he talked to you, however you're sinning.
Okay, I have heard.
Oh my God.
We need to get comments,
how's
please.
Marriage life?
Twitter.
You've hinted a bit about your marriage and all of that. But what would you know, many pastors, there's always this thing about, oh, pastors marry beautiful women, or, oh, this pastor, how come you saw this fine girl to marry and all of that? But what would you say has been your experience since marriage? How supportive has your wife been to you through this journey? Like, you are 7 people. My
wife has been my best friend. I didn't marry a beautiful woman. I married a loaded woman.
What?
A loaded lady. And I brought out the beauty. She married a loaded guy. And she brought out the greatness out of me. So my wife happens to be my best friend.
Oh. Now that you told her not to call you baby, what should she call you?
Exactly.
She should not call you baby.
Let her call me my hero.
Hey!
I've been through hell and back. When I was on my way to the prison, I said, you know what? Do celebrate my daughter, my daughter's birthday. Yeah. It was at 1 year. Use the celebration to frustrate enemies. Hey. Don't allow your history to affect your destiny.
Hey.
Your
hero.
Yeah, she calls me my hero. Aww. She calls me Olami. Hey. Olami means my wealth. Hey. So why would she call me baby when
you're not a baby?
I don't want to start acting like one. How would you talk to me and I will act like?
Let's take messages for our YouTube.
He's on Tubes. Said the guy is good. Smart talk. I love the example of NT and TVC. Just wondering how he sounds so explicit. And he said he didn't go to school. Holy Spirit taught him, Abby. Then Billy Kid says, these ladies see how they are pulling the prophet's legs. And she mentioned her name.
Any other?
So we have Andrew sometimes says, okay, let me not read Andrew's one. Let me read. Yinka Thomas said, first fruit is different from last salary and new salary. However, our pastors have turned it upside down. Love you. Corey Williams says, tell pastor, all those people that worship pastors, especially women, they respect pastor more than their own husbands. You know.
That's true.
Then another good bit says, all pastors should help church members who are struggling. Which is
okay, we have to run. I'd like you to leave a final word because obviously one of the reasons why we brought you here is to share with us the lessons you've learned from this entire experience and that thing that makes you who you are. People see you as this really vibrant pastor speaking. And I like the fact that you said that when that time comes, you speak through to power. Right now, you're saying, you know, because people want past men to men, leaders, imams, speak, say something at this time. They're also quiet and being safe. But you're saying it's not your turn, it's your turn, no problem. But what's your final message to Nigerians this morning as we wrap up?
Yeah, we should start preaching love. And we should start loving ourselves. Like, I'm always very careful. I'm very careful talking when it comes to Nigeria. I just want you watching me right now to know who you are. Know whose you are. Be purpose-driven. Be value-driven. Then focus. Keep doing whatever you're doing and produce results. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Don't give attention to your distractions. If you give them attention, they will give you direction. So you are in charge of your destiny.
If you give them attention, they will give you direction. Oh, did you get that?
I hope you did.
Thank you. So your enemies, if you're listening to them, they'll be the one directing you.
Of course.
Thank you, sir. That's all we can take. I wish you had another hour.
I'm telling you.
Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.